Hi, thanks for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Super Bowl Sunday, February 11th. We're going to do actually basketball in this one. We gave away all our Super Bowl picks and bets earlier. But we're getting into the basketball slate. Limited today because of the Super Bowl. Everybody's getting their games done early and everything out the way. As the Super Bowl kicks in later on, late this afternoon out here in Phoenix, or early evening, I guess, out of the East Coast. So we'll get into the basketball slate, get those going for you, make some money before we get into the Super Bowl and bet some more, right? So first game out of the chute, Florida Atlantic, FAU, still ranked in the top 25, going to Wichita State. Not an extremely easy place to play. This is not the normal Wichita State team of years past. They have struggled a lot more than probably anticipated on that one. But we do like, it's Sunday road favorites are having a hard time overall. So we will take Wichita State here. I think they I don't know if they win this game outright, but I think there's definitely a good possibility, and there's a lot of paths to victory there. Plus, we're getting 7.5 points in our pocket, and we like to take those. So Wichita State +4 in the first half, plus 7.5 for the game. One more time, Wichita State +4 first half, plus 7.5 for the game. Next game up, going to be Villanova, Seton Hall. The Big East is boiled down to one thing: who's at home. And no exceptions here. Nova very good at home. Seton Hall struggles on the road in conference. These teams just don't play a lot of road games. Period. Nobody does. They play neutral site games a lot for the bigger games earlier in the season. So when it comes to conference play, they don't play a lot of road games. So, definitely it takes some getting used to, especially if you're the dominant team. Like UConn Georgetown yesterday, for example, that was a huge difference in talent, right? So a lot easier for a UConn team to go cover on this one on the road, but not necessarily for the rest of the teams that are pretty equal in talent. But we will take Nova today. They are -5.5. So Nova -2.5 first half, -5.5 for the game. Nova -2.5 first half, and -5.5 for the game. Then we'll get into some Big Ten basketball. We had a good day, pretty good day yesterday in Big Ten basketball. Nebraska cruised to victory over Michigan. That was one of our best bets of the day. So in college basketball, Northwestern, Penn State. This is not going to be one that you're going to be like jumping up and down to watch. But Northwestern's played good ball all season long, been pretty steady throughout. Penn State, one of the bottom feeders in the Big Ten. So we're going to take those Northwestern. We'll lay the points here. Northwestern -4.5 first half, and actually -8 for the game. 7.5s are available if you want to get those. Northwestern -4.5 first half, -8 for the game. Next game up we're going to take is going to be North Texas SMU. SMU's actually been, I wouldn't say a shock, but they've been a little bit better than expected for sure. They have played well. North Texas has been one of those ones where you want to catch them at home. They are lights out at home. They're kind of like UAB. We've been playing a lot when UAB's at home. They're on the road today, so we're going to skip them. But we do like SMU in this spot here. SMU -2.5 first half, -5.5 for the game. And one more time, SMU -2.5 first half, -5.5 for the game. Then Big Ten basketball, we're going to one more time, 1 o'clock out here in Phoenix, so 2 o'clock Central in Iowa City. Iowa laying 6.5 against Minnesota. I don't know how Iowa's favored here. I know Minnesota's not great, but they've been pretty decent against the number. But we like Minnesota, and we think Minnesota can actually pull this off. So we've got a couple different plays here. So Minnesota +3.5 for first half, +6.5 for the game. We'll take that. And then we're also going to do Minnesota money line first half and Minnesota money line for the game, just to kind of get some money line action. And there's over +200, so some good value there. We're past that key number of 5. Minnesota, I think, has a lot of options to win this particular game, a lot of paths to victory, so to speak, but we'll ride them. So Minnesota +3.5 first half, +6.5 for the game. We'll also take Minnesota money line first half in Minnesota money line game. That's it for us in college basketball. There are 2 NBA games, and that is it for today. So actually, both games we like quite a bit, but Celtics, obviously the best record in the league, going to Miami. Miami finally got a win. I think they're 1-9 or 2-9 last 10, 11 games. Celtics only a 6-point favorite. They've been playing down to competition, so no shock there. 226 total, lowest total, especially when the Celtics are averaging about 120 a game. But, Miami always slows the pace down, makes it a little tougher to score, plays pretty good defense. But we still like the Celtics in this particular matchup. I can't get away from them on this one. I was looking for reasons to bet the Heat here and just squash the points, but I just got one of those feelings that maybe the Celtics want to show out for early Super Bowl Sunday, show what kind of stuff they got going on. It is an early game, 2 o'clock out east, so those Sunday afternoon games can sometimes be fabulous or duds, but we do like the Celtics here. Celtics minus 2.5 first quarter, -3 first half, -6 for the game. Also, Jimmy Butler's game time decision, but he has been most of the season, so nothing unusual. So, and then Porzingis and Jaylen Brown will be our biggest focus here on player props. Porzingis over 18.5 points, over 1.5 threes. We'll also sprinkle a little bit on 3+ threes, over 1.5 blocks, over 27.5 par. We also like Jaylen Brown quite a bit today. Maybe he gets his 3-point stroke back. Brown over 19.5 points, over 1.5 threes. We'll also sprinkle a little bit on 3+ threes. And then we also like the Celtics over 117.5 team total. Now, I understand I think the team total is at 116.5, 115.5, but this was plus 114 on FanDuel. So those team totals, the way it works out, if you're going to cover the number, more than likely you're probably going to have to go over your team total. So taking another point or two above and getting plus money there is a good option. If we're going to cover that number, and let's say the Heat just put up their normal team total, which will be like 110, then they're not really they have to go over that in order to cover it. Now, you can't get burnt. Obviously, there's lower scoring games, things of that nature, but more times than not, if you have a favorite and they're going to cover the game, they're probably going to have to go over that team total by a couple points. So, one more time, Celtics minus 2.5 first quarter, -3 first half, -6 for the game. Porzingis over 18.5 points, over 1.5 threes. We'll also sprinkle a little bit on 3+ threes, over 1.5 blocks, which is even money on FanDuel, over 27.5 par. Jaylen Brown over 19.5 points, over 1.5 threes. We'll sprinkle a little bit on 3+ threes, and then the Celtics over 117.5 team total. If the Celtics aren't hitting threes, they're probably going to lose that game. So that's another reason to sprinkle a little bit of extra, get those higher three totals. When they're hitting threes, they're one of the most unbelievable teams. They're the biggest three-point shooting team out there to begin with. But when they're smacking threes around, that team is unreal on what they can get done and how many points they can score and how they can absolutely ambush you on that. When they're not hitting threes, games get tight, and it turns into a lot of hero ball, a lot of one-on-one stuff. But like I said, when they're hitting threes, they're pretty devastating on that one. Next game up, or the last game of the day, starts at 1:10 out here, so let's see, 2:10 Central in Oklahoma City, or 3:10 out in the East Coast. Oklahoma City, the Thunder -3, 3.5, depending on what book you're looking at. The number's been bouncing around a little bit, going against the Kings, 239.5 total. Thunder laid an egg yesterday. It necessarily laid an egg as much as the Mavs came out. Unfortunately, we were on the Thunder yesterday, and I said in the show, the only way that I think they don't cover if the Mavs come out hot from three, and guess what happened? They came out hot from three. I still think they're shooting shots and haven't missed. You can't defend a guy that can shoot from 30 feet. If you do, it opens up opens up the paint way too much for easy layups and dunks. So sometimes you have to let them be able to shoot from 30 feet and live or die with it. Unfortunately, they died with it yesterday. The Mavs were just in fuego. The Kings come off. They had a 2-game homestand, went 1-1 in that one, and then they come back. Now they're back on the road again, where they played okay. I mean, they were around 500 on their last road trip. But I'm telling you right now, something is wrong with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know what it is. They haven't mentioned anything, but this is De'Aaron Fox, the guy that does 25 to 30 points a game like it's going out of style, and he's been putting up 15 burgers all the time. I understand maybe people are focused more on him defensively, but something's going on. They haven't said anything all season, but it's been going on now for a month plus. So we're going to ride with the Thunder today. I just think, this is one of those they bounce back game for them. Yes, the Kings can shoot threes, but they don't have the range, I think, of some of the Mavs guys. Doncic and Irving can just shoot from 30 feet. You're not going to see the Kings shoot from that deep. And they can recover to the 3-point line, maybe another couple feet behind. But when you start trying to recover to guys that are way out there, you're never going to do it. So we do like the Thunder today. So we're going to take the Thunder minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2 first half, and 3.5 for the game. Like I said, there are some threes out there, so feel free on that one. Just watch the juice on the threes. I mean, if they're at minus 120 or something, you might be better off going to 3.5 because they're going to have to win by 4 for you to win anyway. So not a lot of reason to pay the additional juice on that one. Thunder minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2 first half, minus 3.5 for the game. Holmgren over 16.5 points. I'm seeing point totals on him from 16.5 to 17.5 all around. Holmgren over 1.5 threes. We'll also go Holmgren over 28.5 par. Holmgren over 2.5 blocks. Then we'll take SGA 2+ threes it was plus 320 on FanDuel. He hasn't had a couple threes here in a game for a few games. He did have a stretch of about 4 where he went 4 out of 5. So we just need to get him back to the 2-3 mark. And the Kings play like a soft zone. There should be a lot of opportunity for him to kind of, on a pick and roll, pick and pop for 3. SGA 2+ steals. Will also sprinkle a little bit on 3+ steals. Holmgren over, we went over the Holmgren 2.5 blocks. Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds. And the Kings under the 118.5 team total. They have a tendency on the road to definitely not score as much at home. And 119 is a big number. I think on the road, the Thunder are one of the best defensive teams, probably top 5, top 8 defensive teams in the league, depending on what metric you're looking at. So I'm not quite sure why their team total is so high at the 118, but we do like the under there. So one more time in the Thunder, Kings game, Thunder minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 2 first half, minus 3.5 for the game. Holmgren over 16.5 points, over 1.5 threes. Over 28.5 par and over 2.5 blocks. SGA over 32.5 points, 2+ threes, 2+ steals, and 3+ steals. And also the Kings under the 118.5 team total. So I mentioned this before. Our Google Sheets are available at the end of every episode that we do. It is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we placed in, what book they were placed at as well. So you can see all the bets that we have for today. Plus, if you're into the Super Bowl, which most people are, you can check out the Super Bowl bets. Also, a lot of times there might not be some things available as of yet, so we might sneak in another bet or two. So checking those Google Sheets out if you kind of want to match them up with what you like. Make sure you do that once we get closer to game time, because this is coming out 4 hours before game time. There might be some injury updates, things of that nature, guys sitting, whatever it may be. We might have some additional bets. So just make sure you check out for those. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop a new episode of bets, you get those first. Makes life so simple once you hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on for YouTube. You get a notification to your device or phone to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped some new bets. Like I said, give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets, give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window to make some money. We've been doing it in basketball. We're 5,000 units up, and yesterday was one of those weird days, like the Pelicans game late saved the day pretty much on that one. And then, but we've had some monsters, and, we've had a great run in basketball. So football's been excellent to us as well, but football is the most difficult sport to bet because the books are so dialed in, especially when it comes to the Super Bowl. Normally, you don't get those very lopsided deals too much in the Super Bowl. They've got it pretty pegged. It does happen, and when it happens, it feels like free money. But a lot of opportunity in basketball, especially today, as most of the focus is going to be on the Super Bowl. So make sure you take a look at those Google Sheets and match some stuff up. Let's make some money so you got additional money to, maybe hit that monster play in the Super Bowl. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.